Loops is one of the most important concepts in programming, not only in Swift, but also in any other language. Loops helps us to show dynamic data, especially when we have large amount of data. This is especially helpful. In this article, we are going to see what is a loop, what are their advantages, and how we use it in Swift. So in order to do this, let's open our project, and we are going to show in the screen a list of items like we would do it until now, which is just writing the items here. Like, let's write a grocery list where we can have tomato, salmon, potato, water. So as you can see here, we can just show this list, and it will appear in the screen. But the problem here is that this info is not dynamic, so it will be always the same. So we want to show a dynamic list of items. Like, for example, we can use arrays that we've seen in the previous article, where we have all the info there that we can download from a server or load from a database. So this info will be dynamic. It can be 1 item, 5 items, or it can be 5,000 items, okay? So let's put these items in an array first. So we will define just a standard state var where we are going to have our items here, and they are going to be all strings, okay? So this is going to be an array of strings. So we are going to put here our info, and then we are going to show this array of items in the screen without knowing what is the content inside, because if this is dynamic, we are not going to be able to show one item or the other. I mean, we can use this array here like this, but we want to handle dynamic data, okay? So for this, we are going to go through all the items array, okay? And for this, we are going to use ForEach. So we are going to use this command or function where we put here our items, and then we are going to define a block of code that is going to be repeated for each single item of the array, all right? So for this block of code, we are going to define also a local variable that can we name as we want. We can call it item, and then we will put in, because this is the syntax for this block of code. We will see this in detail in upcoming articles. So as a last step, we need to define the identifier of these items. This is not important to understand now. There are few ways to do this. This is some not advantage concept, but this is something that we don't need to understand right now. So for any item you use, any array you use, you can put id self and it will work for now. Then in other articles we will see how to write off this or just do it in different ways, okay? So this is our loop. This is what we call a loop. This is a command that we use in order to go through each of the items in our array. So every time this is executed, this item will be one of the items in our array, okay? That means that we can use a text and then show a string. What string? The item, because the item, as you can see here, is a string type. So with this, we are showing all our items with just a couple of lines. And the most important thing is that if we change this and we add a new a new item here, it will be shown in the list, like Coke. So every time this item changes, since this is a state variable, the view will be updated automatically. There is another way to do this that we are going to use in some articles, which is going through all the indexes here, all the indexes of our items. All right, so we can go from 0 to the last items index, which is count, using this command. Okay, this is a command that builds a range. This is called range. So this is basically a range of numbers that will be from the number at the left to the number at the right, but this one will be excluded. Okay, so imagine we use it here, like we are doing right now. We are saying that we want to go from 0 to this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, because this is 5, the count number will be 5, but this is excluded. So we will go through 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, meaning that we are going to get the indexes for each item. So in this case, we are going to rename this variable. It will work the same with this name, but this is going to be an index, and this is going to be an integer, because as we said, it's going to start in 0 and go to 4. So if we want to access the item array, we can just use our index in our array and it will work exactly the same. But then we can use this index for any other thing. For example, we can inject it in a string and say like this. So we are showing the index on one side, and on the other side we are showing the name of the item. So this is useful because we are going to see in upcoming articles that we want the index in order to localize that item in the array. For example, if you want to delete one of the items when the user taps, you need the index in order to save some code, but having the index here can be useful.